Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode, another live stream of all things Manchester United. Welcome to United Talks podcast. We're going to be talking about everything Manchester United, all the news, whatever is making the news, and everything in between, including managerial pressure and all of that. So, yeah, basically, how are you guys doing? Basically, it's been a sad weekend we've had the last weekend when we lost to Brentford, and people have still not gotten over it, and most people have given up on the manager, on the team, and all of that. We've been seeing interviews left, right, and center. We've been seeing rumors left, right, and center. Basically, Manchester United are rumored to be kind of like, expecting to recruit a new manager mid-season. We're also going to talk about Michael Carrick being tipped to replace Rúben Amorim much later. Zinedine Zidane, Oliver Glasner, Gareth Southgate, Andoni Iraola, and another coach has been linked with the Man United job. So it is Fabian Hürzeler. We'll talk about that. And then there's also the Ahmad and Malacia return. There's the Mazraoui and Martínez injury updates. There's Joshua Zirkzee's exit in January. There's the right back in La Liga, some right backs in La Liga being tipped United's radar. We're also going to talk about Saudi Arabia mid-season plan. We're also going to talk about Manchester United and Manchester United women versus Chelsea preview, just to give you a little bit of an update. I had to come live early because of the Champions League game coming up in about 2 hours or an hour and a bit. There's some games going on right now. I think let's just have a look quickly. The Karabag is playing Copenhagen. Not a big deal. Karabag already 1-0 up, and they look like the dark horses. They look like the dark horses for this Champions League, because this will be their second consecutive win after beating Benfica in the first leg. And then the next one is Union Gilo to Newcastle. Newcastle have scored, and it is again 21-year-old or 22-year-old Nick Voltamade. He seems to be scoring on every opportunity he gets. Every time he plays for Newcastle, he is scoring. Scored against Arsenal, scored against Liverpool, I think. Let's see. Scored against Bradford City. No, he didn't. Joelinton scored. He scored against so he didn't score he scored in his first game. I think it's against Wolves. So Nick Voltamade, and he seems to have scored 3 goals in the last 3 games. He was assisted by Sandro Tonali, but that's, by the way, I digress. So we move on to what is going on basically at Manchester United. We'll talk about the Carrick one because it's a bigger issue and a bigger deal. But Manchester United's season continues to unravel as pressure mounts on Rúben Amorim. There's also the much-needed training boost that Manchester United received. Diallo and Tyrell Malacia have returned to first-team training. Pictures are already there online. And then, basically, ahead of Saturday's Premier League clash against Sunderland. However, Mazraoui and Lisandro Martínez remain sidelined. Further on the news of that, of the Malacia and Ahmad coming back. Ahmad obviously was away on compassionate leave. So now the news has it that Rúben Amorim offers reprieve to Man United bomb squad exile. Forgotten defender Tyrell Malacia is set to return to first team training at Manchester United after he failed to secure a transfer away from Old Trafford. The 26-year-old was one of the 5 members of the club's bomb squad, but was unable to finalize the move before September's deadline, unlike Marcus Rashford, Anthony, Jadon Sancho, and Alejandro Garnacho. Now, Malacia was close to joining La Liga outfit Elche late in the window, but the deal collapsed at the 11th hour, leaving the Dutchman stranded in Manchester. However, according to The Athletic, the left back was seen the left back has been reintegrated into the squad, into the United squad under Rúben Amorim, and will soon return to training at Carrington with the club's first team. As of today, he has trained. Malacia has been training with the under-21s as he returns to full fitness, but will now join the fellow left-backs Patrick Dogu, Diego Leon, and Luke Shaw in the senior squad, although the latter has been used as a centre-back recently this season. Malacia returns in Malacia's return is not thought to be a consequence of any injury issues in the squad or the club's dire form, with the Red Devils having lost 4 of the opening 7 matches in all competitions this season, if you're counting the Grimsby Town loss. Also, that is another of Erik ten Hag's Eredivisie signing, Malacia, whose injury record has prevented him from making progress at Old Trafford since his £13 million move, which is like $17 million, from Feyenoord. He missed the entirety of the 23-24 season due to knee injury, and has managed just 8 appearances for Man United since his return from the treatment room. Malacia spent the second half of last season on loan with PSV Eindhoven, making 12 appearances for the Dutch outfit, for the Dutch Giants. Having not played a competitive fixture since May, he will have to be eased back into action. So I saw videos on the Man United website and online that, where he was actually running, he was actually playing and all that. Yeah, but the question will now be, what does he add to the team, right? What does he add to the team? Depth or just numbers? Man United have had 9 wins, 7 draws and 17 defeats in the Premier League. It is, I don't know how to put it into context, but it is what it is. What do you guys think? Malacia, back in the squad, back in the training team. Do you believe that he can have an impact this season, or it's just basically for him to be? Because one thing I can say is that Rúben Amorim had already alluded to the fact that he was going to be reintegrated into the team. Obviously, he had a couple of knee injuries over 12 months and all of that, but then he was out for about 18 months, but then it was said that he was going to be reintegrated into the team, and Rúben Amorim has brought him back. So, but still, Mazraoui is out. Obviously, we all know the reason why he's out. He's out till I think he got a knock. He's out till he's out till after the international break. And then he's not expected until October international break, which is after 2 weeks now, so he potentially will be out for 4 weeks. Lisandro Martínez is still recovering from the long-term knee injury, which is the ACL injury, which is something you don't easily come back from. What else again? So that's pretty much what it is. Also, there is transfer speculation. So that's it about team news, because obviously Ahmad and Malacia are back. But with transfer speculation, reports suggest that Man United are monitoring 3 La Liga right backs. That is Jon Aramburu. You remember that name? It's Athletic Bilbao. And then there is Nahuel Molina. I can't remember which team he plays for. Then there's Omar El Hilali. Amidst doubt about the current options in that position, there are also rumors about the potential sale or loan of Joshua Zirkzee in January. What do you guys think about that? The truth is, I don't want Zirkzee to go, but that's another good player. It's another good player that we're beginning to kind of, how do I put it, maybe see him leave or something, but it is what it is. There are so many contributing factors to this whole situation. I believe, or I think that Joshua Zirkzee could have basically made an impact in the squad. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Last night, I watched the Champions League game where Alejandro Garnacho played for Chelsea. I was just watching because of Mourinho, basically. But obviously, I was trying to see because I already believed that Garnacho would just be an okay player for Chelsea. He was a good player for Man United, but I think he's just going to be an okay player in that Chelsea squad. And he didn't really make any impact other than the fact that he got on the end of a cross, and which was deflected into goal. Apart from that, nothing. Former Manchester United winger has opened up on his departure, and this is from Manchester Evening News, mind you, because the truth is, you make of it what you will, and blow it out of proportion however you will. But I know that Manchester Evening News sometimes blow news out of proportion. Like I said, former Manchester United winger Alejandro Garnacho has opened up on his departure from the club after being included in the bomb squad prior to the Chelsea transfer. The guy has been sold, he has been let go, but he's still being linked with anything that has to do with Manchester United news. But this is what he had to say about his time at United. He said, I think it was a difficult moment there, just training alone. Why do they keep asking about them, what they did in their time when they were exiled from the squad? So just training alone. I mean, we all know, we're aware of what Garnacho did post Europa League final. So Garnacho told TNT Sport after Chelsea's 1-0 win over Benfica in the Champions League. He said, but I have nothing bad to say about the club, my old club, Manchester United. It was just a bad moment in life, but now I'm very happy to be here and to play in this competition and to get the 3 points today. So, yeah, that is pretty much what it is. Also, Marcus Rashford's latest, obviously he's a Man United player on loan to Barcelona. Barcelona boss Hansi Flick admits it's not been easy for Marcus Rashford since his move to La Liga outfit earlier this season, despite the rich vein of form. The England international shone for Barca during their Champions League win over Newcastle earlier in the month, and he has registered a goal contribution in his last 6 appearances for the club and country. Speaking to Marca ahead of Barca's clash with PSG in the Champions League, Flick said everyone could see it in the last games. In Newcastle, he gained a lot of confidence. It's not always easy. He came from another league. He's adapting well. Not a big deal, isn't it? So it is what it is. I saw something somewhere with regards to news about Manchester United and stuff, but before we get there, it's something from Oliver Glasner, but we're going to talk about that. Also, let's get it over and done with the Manchester United women. The women's team will face Chelsea on Friday in the key WSL match. Militano is expected to be out until around Christmas due to a knee injury. That is for the Manchester United women. We'll just talk about that and move on. We'll probably watch that match and give a review in the next live. Yes, now to the big issue of the day, which we're going to be talking about a lot in this live. It's the managerial concern, it's the managerial issue, it's the managerial thing. Before that, let's talk about this. Manchester United are exploring a mid-season friendly in Saudi Arabia to raise revenue, while Manchester United women prepare for the huge clash against Chelsea. So we'll go to that one and talk about it. So Manchester United are considering Saudi Arabia as a venue for a mid-season friendly. Okay, so hopefully something comes out of this. Manchester United are exploring the possibility of playing a mid-season friendly in Saudi Arabia. Talks with the relevant stakeholders are at an early stage, and there is no guarantee a game will be arranged. But United are considering ways to raise revenue, given that they have several free midweeks. Traveling to the Middle East is seen as an option. Riyadh season, an annual entertainment and sports festival which hosts major events, typically runs from October to March, but it can go beyond those months and outside of Saudi Arabia. The recent super fight between Cancelo Alvarez and Terence and and Terence Crawford came under the Riyadh season banner in September in Las Vegas. So taking part in a match in Saudi Arabia could be a lucrative one for Manchester United. Secondarily, providing warm weather to train in during the winter months. Criticisms might also be drawn due to Rúben Amorim's stated appreciation for extra time he has this campaign to work with the team in quarantine. Typically, though, United fly abroad several times per season, so doing so on 8 occasions in the last campaign. United also missed out as much as £85 million by failing to qualify for Champions League this season after losing the Europa League final and finishing a disastrous 15th place in the Premier League last term. The decision to scrap access all areas documentary also curtailed what could have been a valuable source of income, as revealed by The Athletic in July. So obviously this is to raise funds and all of that. The truth is, it's something that we can think about and understand why Manchester United is attempting to want to play a mid-season friendly just to raise funds and stuff. But yeah, let me know if that's a finished comment section. Should Man United go ahead with this? I mean, the club's already under pressure, right? The club is already under pressure. So let's see. Now, speaking of pressure, there is managerial pressure. That's a fact. There's managerial pressure. Just to give you a summary of what we're going to talk about, and then take it up a notch and discuss other things with regards to managers. Pressure continues to mount on Rúben Amorim following a disappointing start to the season, including a 3-1 defeat to Brentford. Now, there is speculation about potential replacements with names like Gareth Southgate, which I know you Man United fans are watching me. You Man United fans are watching me know that we don't want Gareth Southgate, but it is what it is. Names like Gareth Southgate, Andoni Iraola, that's Bournemouth coach, Oliver Glasner, Crystal Palace, Fabian Hürzeler, and Zinedine Zidane being mentioned in the media reports. However, some reports also indicate that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the club's decision maker, is backing Amorim. I know most fans don't like that. Most fans don't like the fact that Amorim is going to be backed by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but we will talk about it. Now, let's talk about what Oliver Glasner has to say about Manchester United comments. Now, Crystal Palace boss Oliver Glasner has also been linked with a Manchester United job, having won 2 trophies during his time at South Park. That's the Accounting Community Shield. That's 2 trophies. Seeing as Mourinho won it and then it wasn't counted as 2 trophies, as a trophy, Community Shield, but it is what it is. The Eagles head coach has won the FA Cup and Community Shield in recent months and currently overseeing an impressive unbeaten run. When asked about the speculation linking him with a move to Old Trafford, he told Kicker, "I follow the rumours and that's all there is. Neutrally and completely relaxed." That was how Oliver Glasner came across. And then focusing on the daily work and my players and coaches and trying to enjoy as much as possible. So that is what Oliver Glasner had to say about being linked with Manchester United. Then we can also talk about Fabian Hürzeler's response. Fabian Hürzeler refused to be drawn into a talk regarding the Manchester United managerial position amid the ongoing pressure on Rúben Amorim's shoulders. The young German coach is impressed, or has impressed, during his time with Brighton, and is one of the names being linked with a move to Old Trafford. Speaking to Sky Sports, Hürzeler said, "Tough decisions and rumours are always part of this job, so you have to accept it. You have to deal with it. But I really want to say that I have a lot of respect for Rúben Amorim, so I won't talk about his job or any rumours that might come." What do you guys expect him to say? What do you guys expect him to say? Well, regarding him, I'm really privileged to be a coach for Brighton and Hove Albion, and I'm very happy here and still have a lot of work to do. To tell you that is Manchester Evening News and how they type. The have was even spelled wrongly, but it is what it is. And then Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane takes to social media after Man United talk amid Rúben Amorim's sack pressure. Former Real Madrid boss Zinedine Zidane has been active on social media while speculation linking him with Manchester United managerial position continues to pick pace. Right? Pressure is continuing to build on Rúben Amorim's shoulders after a dreadful start to life at Old Trafford dugout. Now, the Manchester Evening News reported on Monday that Amorim retains the backing of United's board as things stand, with club sources indicating that they are not eyeing up a replacement. Now, reports following the 3-1 defeat to Brentford suggest that the club had come up with a 3-man shortlist to replace Amorim should results continue to disappoint. Gareth Southgate, Andoni Iraola, Oliver Glasner are the 3-man shortlist said to be, the 3 names said to be on the list. However, there's also a number of other names linked with a move to United. Ex-Real Madrid boss Zinedine Zidane has been reportedly linked to a move to Old Trafford ever since leaving Los Blancos in 2021. So now you see that this link basically is just a made-up one, because it's one of the names you can just throw into the hat and then you can make of it what you will. But obviously it is Manchester Evening News, and they'll always say what they want to say and all of that. So Zinedine Zidane takes to social media after Man United talk amid Amorim's sack pressure. They say, Zinedine Zidane has been active on social media amid ongoing speculations linking him with Old Trafford managerial position as pressure intensifies on Rúben Amorim. Former Real Madrid boss Zinedine Zidane has been active on social media, and the pressure is continuing to build on Rúben Amorim's shoulder after a dreadful start to Old Trafford. Yeah. They say all crap, and then the next thing, the former French midfielder won an incredible 200 games in 320 appearances, 200 games in 320 games in charge at the Santiago Bernabeu, with 2 stints, winning 2 La Liga titles, 2 Supercopa de España, 3 consecutive Champions League titles, 2 UEFA Super Cups, and 2 Club World Cups. He also won, so they're just giving us all the stats. And then, while clearly enjoying Manchester Evening News, it is what it is. Zinedine Zidane shared an image of social. Okay. Zinedine Zidane shares an image on social media, posing in New York with a picturesque skyline in the background. How does this relate to Manchester United job? Okay, clearly enjoying downtime. It will be interesting to see if he can be tempted back into management anytime soon, especially if United come calling. Will United come calling? That's the question. Someone that has said time and again that he's not going to coach Man United, but it is what it is. Yeah, the former French international is also being tipped to take over Didier Deschamps. I've seen this news before. He's been tipped to replace Didier Deschamps in the French national team. They even said he's getting ready. Yeah. He says to Maka, there is a coach in charge, there's a team, and you have to respect everything, and that's what we do. He told Maka, I've always respected football and people and the people, so it's not the right time. But when the time comes, it will be a great pleasure if the opportunity arises. I've put my career on hold for a while, but I'll fully like a coach. I fully feel like a coach. Okay. So yeah, there's no news. This is no news. Basically, Zinedine Zidane appearing on social media because of the Man United job. That's no news. That's cap. That is cap. So basically, transfer speculations are never ending. Now, we're going to talk about one that I see, or that I've seen the last 24 hours, and that is about Michael Carrick. That's the main one, right? Now, this is according to The Sun, and make of it what you will. I don't really believe most of the things they say, but just make of it what you will. The Sun is saying, United legend 44, an interim manager option as Sir Jim Ratcliffe prepares Rúben Amorim backup plan. This is according to Samuel Lacoste of The Sun. And he also capped it by saying this could be a very popular appointment. Michael Carrick is among the caretaker options, because now it's no longer, manager replacements. It's now caretaker options. Michael Carrick is among the caretaker options Manchester United could turn to if they give up on head coach Rúben Amorim. Amorim retains the backing of United hierarchy, but the club are keeping an eye on Premier League coaches Oliver Glasner, Andoni Iraola, and Fabian Hürzeler. So we'll see where this news goes, and then I'll tell you what I think, right? Because I'm reading it with you, not like I'm just like I've read it before and all that. I'm just reading it with you so I can give my honest reaction in real time. Michael Carrick, 44, took caretaker charge of United in November and December 2021, overseeing 2 wins and a draw before he left ahead of Ralph Rangnick's arrival, who was also an interim. So think about it. Should have just left Michael Carrick, but it is what it is. Also, United great Michael Carrick was sacked by Championship side Middlesbrough in the summer. I would show you another news where this whole thing was talked about, especially with Michael Carrick being sacked. Another thing again that's interesting about this is I followed Michael Carrick when he moved to Middlesbrough as manager, and I was watching, some of the games. I was seeing how he was coaching and all that, because I won't lie to you, I was looking at it with a potential for him to actually replace Ten Hag, right? But it is what it is. They went for the next best shiny thing, and that is Rúben Amorim. Make of it what you will. United, Borough are top of the second tier under Michael. On top of the second tier under Michael Carrick's replacement, ex-Luton Town manager Rob Edwards. Okay, so Middlesbrough are top of the championship, but it is what it is. Let's quickly have a look at that championship, and then we can talk further about it. And then we'll talk about what Rúben Amorim had to say in a TNT Sports interview that was released yesterday. Let's check leagues. Just give me a second, and we will check the championship. England Championship overview. Middlesbrough are top of the league and unbeaten in 5. They've played 8 games, they've won 5, they've drawn 3. So unbeaten in 8. They drew their last 2 games, and in the last 5 games, 2 wins, 3 draws. That is astounding. Plus 7 goals difference, 18 points in total. So yeah, they're top of the table, but it's still early days. 8 games of the over 40 games that they're gonna play in that league. So we shall see. Yeah. So let's keep it going. So speaking of the whole Michael Carrick situation, with Carrick out of work, he has featured high up on bookmakers. That is where the news comes from. He has featured high up on bookmakers chalkboards for odds on the next United manager. Now, Carrick is still close to the United setup, as his son JC is in the club's academy and has captained the under-16s. The former England international has kept busy since his dismissal, playing for United old boys team. So just all talk and all talk and all talk of what Carrick has done. 2 years ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was tipped. 2 years ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tipped Michael Carrick to take over as permanent United manager in the future. Yeah, so what's the big deal? Yes, anyway, it's all news, isn't it? So we have to just break it to you and explain it to you. Solskjaer had Carrick on his coaching staff during his trophyless tenure at United between 2018 and 2021. It's so interesting to see that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coached Man United for almost 4 years. Like literally. And then we have one coach in another club who has been there going to 7 years without a trophy. But we called Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a P teacher, right? The media will give us what they want to feed us, and we'll take it. So, furthermore, Carrick joined United for a team. That's story basically. Yeah, that's a nothing news basically. But let's talk about Carrick and what the Sun is also saying further. This is as of today, the last couple of hours, maybe the last 1 hour. Carrick on How Streetwise. This is Michael Carragher on Jamie Carragher on how streetwise Michael Carrick would change 3 things at Manchester United immediately if he replaces Rúben Amorim. I'll be able to find the answer for one of the club's most underutilized players. So they are just trying to make news, trying to make headlines. But I'll still explain it to you. Michael Carrick could be set for a sensational return to Manchester United, and he would make an instant impact. Sun Sport reveal that the legendary former Red Devils is among the caretaker options, and they could turn to if they ask coach Rúben Amorim. I just said that to you, but the Sun's repeating the same thing in another way, right? Obviously, like what they'll say, Amorim is being backed by the leadership or by the owners, by Jim Ratcliffe as well. And then, yeah, due to Carrick being out of work, he has become the leading names in the book. Oh yeah. Now, this is what they're actually trying to say that Michael Carrick is going to fix for at the back. Now, that is because, and which will bring me to another report that I saw, I think about 3 things that Rúben Amorim will change or needs to change to be able to start winning again. First, for at the back, right? That is what was said. Amorim's insistence on playing 3 at the back is well publicized. However, one of the first things Michael Carrick would do will be to switch to a back 4. Like, a back 4 is the problem in this squad. Meanwhile, obviously, the defenders keep making mistakes. So if you switch to a back 4, defenders continue to make mistakes. Does it change anything? No, but it is what it is. Please let me know what you think, please, in the comment section. Don't forget to also like this video so we can get seen and all of that, and have more important conversations as well. We're just breaking down the news and analyzing it as they come. There's no, I'm not trying to give you my opinion on, Rúben Amorim, because you all already know my opinion. But now, because Michael Carrick's favoured backline throughout his tenure at Middlesbrough was a back 4, they are saying if he comes to Man United, a back 4 will be his favoured backline, and it will be a dead cert. He would revert to type at United, especially given their recent struggles trying to play that way. Now, with regards to wingers, the second thing that Michael Carrick would change at United, with the wing backs ditched, the Red Devils icon would also go old school in the attacking front. This is according to the Sun. Okay, wingers were, let me see who wrote this article so we can just actually know where we're headed with all of this. And that is, who wrote this? Gary Stonehouse. Gary Stonehouse wrote this. I don't know the guy, but it is what it is. He's trying to analyze it. And yeah, while we're at it, when Rooney has said he has no faith, when Rooney has no faith in Rúben Amorim and slams Man United flops who don't deserve the shirt in a passionate rant. Yeah, it is what it is. It actually is what it is, man. Well, moving on. Wingers were his thing at Middlesbrough, and having played alongside some of the greatest under Sir Alex Ferguson, he would bring them back to the United side. Part of Carrick's downfall at Riverside was when Ben Doak suffered in January last term, leaving his team. What did he suffer? That's my question. Former Liverpool star Ben Doak, 19. Liverpool star collapses in warning scene as medical. Oh yeah, okay, he collapsed in the game. Okay, Ben Doak. Okay, it is what it is. Furthermore, yeah, Ben Doak suffered in January last term, leaving his team without pace and trickery in attack. So only Ben Doak is the one running the whole attack. It is what it is. And you could be certain that he wouldn't be wasting the talents of Amad Diallo. Obviously, Amad Diallo is one of our wingers at the club and will also thrive in any team, any system, any style. There's only one instruction the Ivory Coast ace would be getting from Michael Carrick: attack. Okay, like, it's so easy. Then Zip It, which is another one that they tagged this third thing, and then we'll talk about Rúben Amorim over next. With each and every press conference, Amorim seems to put his foot in his mouth. Yeah, this one is just a stray bullet to Rúben Amorim. While some find it refreshing to have a manager speaking so honestly and open, many just want him to shut up. So that's exactly what you get from Carrick. Yeah, it's the sun. Make of it what you will. It's the sun. So to give us really incredible, interesting news, you're giving us this. Especially towards the end, the former England midfielder appeared to see each press conference as a chore rather than an opportunity to speak to fans. It reminds me of a certain manager who came to Manchester United and said giving press conferences at this club is a chore. He didn't think that it was a lot like this. You have to give like 3 press conferences before the game, 3 press conferences after the game. Quickly, let me just have a drink. So yeah, these are all just rumors of links to Michael Carrick and all of that. But obviously there's no smoke without fire. That is what the proverb says. Now, if we speak about Michael Carrick, this is what I wanted to say at one point. I said Michael Carrick leaves Middlesbrough. Club parts ways with head coach after failing to win promotion to the Premier League. Current Chelsea coach was in the Championship at the time when Michael Carrick was coach of Middlesbrough, and Maresca, who is supposedly better than Michael Carrick, won promotion with Leicester, who eventually went back down. Carrick had been in charge since October 2022, but failed to lead the club to the Premier League in 3 seasons in charge. Owner Steve Gibson informed Carrick of his fate on Wednesday morning. This was as of Wednesday, 4th of June 2025. So pretty much when the season was done. Excuse me. Middlesbrough, the 43-year-old has been, so he was 43 at the time, has been meeting with bosses including Steve Gibson on Wednesday morning to learn his fate. Carrick has been in charge, blah, whatever. The former Man United, Tottenham and West Ham midfielder is a popular figure on Teesside, but the club feels this is the right time for a change. And they made the change, and guess what? The next manager who took charge is top of the league. So it is what it is. Yeah, please don't forget to like this video, share and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Do you think Michael Carrick would take Manchester United, at least on the interim basis, to the next level after Rúben Amorim leaves? There was a rumor, speaking of Rúben Amorim, that Rúben Amorim could resign instead of being sacked, or could resign ahead of being could resign more, as in before he will be sacked or something. I don't know how true that is, but we're going to talk about something that I noticed. These are, sometimes we try to take things from Manchester United fans, right? We try to look at what Man United fans are saying about Rúben Amorim to gauge kind of like your thoughts and your feelings. I like this one. Not because I want to say I'm backing Rúben Amorim, but I like it because it was an honest opinion from a fan, and most of the things that was said kind of make sense. First, before we go there, Ian Wright says Amorim's got to realize his system hasn't been backed. Playing Bruno at 10, Mount at wing back, and Diallo, a player who wouldn't bench Quenda, says it all. United squad isn't a jigsaw. It's a puzzle with half the pieces missing. If you remember Giovanni Quenda, I think he's going to be going to Chelsea at the end of this season. He was ideally a left-footed wing back or left back, young 17, 18-year-old, and was moved into the right wing back position. That gives me a reminder of someone who was very good and consistent last season, and that is in the person of Ahmad. Left-footed, young player, Portuguese and stuff, but it is what it is. Moving further, into other things, this was what Ian had to say. That's pretty much what it is. We're going to talk about this. So somebody analyzed Amorim's posts. So I watched that interview, the interview on TNT between Amorim and Owen Hargreaves, and the excerpt from the interview was posted on social media, on X to be precise, and somebody reacted on X. His name is Adam Man UFC 24. Go check him out. I never followed him until I saw that post and I saw his take. But this is what he said. He said, you know what, I'm still backing Amorim. That's fine. This is what he had to say. And before you attack me, I've got no problem at all with people wanting him replaced. There is plenty of reasons why you would want that, and I won't begrudge anyone having that viewpoint, which I totally agree. A lot of people want Rúben Amorim gone, like no time. But for me, this is according to Adam, watching this interview with Owen Hargreaves, listening to Amorim talk, I like him. Everybody likes Rúben Amorim the way he talks, but it's like, let the talk do the walk. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, walk the talk, not just talking. Right. So he says, I can't lie, just to please the Twitter faithful and conform. I like him and I really want it to click for him. He sees everything we see, but he also sees training. So if you remember, there was one time during a press conference, Rúben Amorim said something. He said, oh, that you guys don't know most of the things that are going on and stuff. So for him to actually say, yeah, like this is what goes on in training and stuff, is something that we all as Man United fans need to actually take into account. He says, and this is what Adam says, I like him. I really want it to click for him. He sees everything we see, but he also sees training. He's also in the dressing room and he has tons more context than we do. It's really interesting listening to his comments around tactics, leaders, Mavericks, and Maguire, Bruno, and all. He says he does get it. Now, the questions he asked, is he out of his depth a little? Yeah. For sure. He basically admits it in this interview. I could agree, I could disagree, but we both agree to disagree, and there are multiple layers to this. Out of his depth, maybe. Shocked that the thing he expected to achieve at the team he has not achieved 1 year later is also a concern. Think about it when he said that, oh, it will be better for us to try out our system in this club and fail, and then eventually 1 year later, I mean, we would have been better, instead of reverting back to 4-2, because this is not the first time they've asked him to change. Reverting back to a 4-2-3-1, and then 1 year later, we're still where we are. The question is, are we where we were last year with regards to how bad we were? Maybe to an extent, yes, we were. So it is what it is. Also, he says, another question Adam asked is his current peer record abysmal? Absolutely yes. Now, do we have, and you don't need to tell you all that, nine wins, 17 losses and 7 draws. So you don't need to tell you further on that. Please do like the video and subscribe and all of that. He now says again, do we have the players to execute the system perfectly? No. Same theme from last season. But the underlying stats are much better and showing progress. Speaking of stats, I saw something from AG Analysis on X, and he talked about something like this, and he kind of said basically that stats don't really tell the full story of what is actually going on, but it is what it is. So we have to just mark the fact that Rúben Amorim is trying his best to make things work, but it's not working. And if he gets sacked, that's fine. We'll back the next manager. And as I said even yesterday's stream. Furthermore, yeah, the stats are showing progress, but the stats don't really tell the full story, and that is what AG Analysis says, which I completely understand. Now, is he stubborn? Yes, but so am I at 40 years. It has its pros and cons. That is what Adam has to say. But even taking all that into consideration, I won't be swayed by the stupid graphics Sky Sports put out that are doing the rounds. They are completely taken out of context and posted solely to rage bait, and that is what the media always tends to do most of the time. They post stuff that are so damning that will make us to rage bait or get angry and say, oh, this is not working, that is not working. Fine. Not that I'm saying, we should sack Amorim or we should keep Amorim or anything. The truth is, if we sack him, I'm definitely going to back the next manager. If we keep him, I'm still definitely going to back Rúben Amorim. That's the most important thing, and that's what he needs right now. And that's the important thing he said in that interview. He said at the end, he says, I know the fans are not patient. That's the summary of what he was saying. I know the fans are not patient to want to see results, but it is what it is. Now we'll read further what Adam had to say, and then there's one before we wrap this all up. So he says they do not take into account the club hired him mid-season with morale on the floor and asked him to completely change the tactics, system, and the way of playing. They hired him and they told him they would back him to do so, knowing he's a young manager in a new league and we don't have the squad to do it. They also do not take into account, in fact, he was talking to Sky Sports, take into account the fact that we practically forfeited our last 8 Premier League games to try and win the Europa League, which was absolutely the right thing to do. Mourinho did it and it turned out well. Basically, you're doomed if you do, you're doomed if you don't. And again, if you did it and you succeeded, fine. If you did it and you didn't succeed, fine. You're also in problem. Think about how we considered the goal against Tottenham Hotspur, and then that kind of ruined everything because Tottenham barely played anything other than just defend to try to win the trophy. Yeah, so he says they're not taking into account the fact that we practically forfeited the 8 Premier League games to try to win the Europa League, which was absolutely the right thing to do. But we also played our strongest team in the Europa League and our weakest team in the Premier League, and it almost paid off. Yes, it meant that we dropped plenty of points in the Premier League, but if the plan had worked, not a single person would be moaning about our points total and would be watching the Champions League tonight instead, which I totally agree. But I don't completely agree because I know the media will spin a narrative. Whether Manchester United win or not, you've already been hearing stuff in the media from last season before the Europa League final where they said, that Manchester United don't deserve to be in the final. How can you qualify for the Champions League via Europa League route? How can you do this? How can you do that? Blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, they already spun the narrative way, way before Manchester United even, got to the final. So, you had people. If you remember, let's not forget, short-term memory, no. You remember Jamie Carragher. Those were the people that were saying stuff like that. How can Man United deserve to be in that final? Both Man United and Tottenham don't deserve to be in that final. Blah, 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 blah. So even if we won the Europa League under Rúben Amorim, it would still be a problem. We don't deserve to be in the Champions League. We came through the back door, blah, blah, blah. We finished 17th and came through the back door. Nobody did. Yeah. I remember I made a video and I ranted about this and stuff, but it is what it is. Let's keep going. Now, and obviously, like Adam was saying, Sky Sports didn't take this into account. The underlying stats are improving. The team and the new signings are all new, and an all-new attack has barely played. For the first time since they were signed, Benjamin Sesko, Bryan Mbeumo, and Matheus Cunha played against Brentford for the first time. But people don't forget. People don't remember. They actually started a game together for the first time. If you remember, the last time that 2 of them started, I think was Grimsby Town. Sesko started with Cunha, and then eventually Mbeumo came on later, and they hadn't gelled and it hadn't worked. Yeah, and then Adam actually said the underlying stats are improving. The team and the new signings and all new attack have barely played a handful of games together, but there has been plenty of signs of improvement. If you can't see them, You are blind, in denial, or only focusing on the results, not the performances. Yeah, we have had a few stinkers, but so has every other team. All things considered, this is what Adam says. We had the toughest set of opening fixtures out of all the top half clubs this season. Fact. We had 1 point behind. We are 1 point behind Chelsea. Fact. We are 3 points behind City. Fact. We are ahead of Newcastle, Villa, Forest, who are supposed to be rivals for a European spots. Facts. Now, he said we are still very much in contention for those European spots, and I am hoping we can grab some good results in the next few games and build momentum. What do you guys think? I think our next game is Sunderland, and after the international break, Liverpool. And I think the next one after that, let's have a look at our next 3 or 5 games. Let's see. Newcastle are leading Union Saint-Gilloise 2-0. Let's see who scored. Would it be Votamade again? No, Gordon. Oh, 3-0 now. Gordon has scored 2 pens. Ooh, okay. Copenhagen are still losing to Karabag. So, it is what it is. So, back to Manchester United. Manchester United match, next set of matches, just to give you a bit of a context to what is going on in Manchester United, then we wrap this up. Our next match is, give me a sec. Okay, our next run of matches, we have Sunderland next, and then just give me 1 second. Trying to get this thing sorted. It's not. Yeah, so our fixtures, we have Sunderland next, and then we play Liverpool on the 19th of October, and then Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham Hotspur, and I think, yeah, 25th to, so I think there'll be another international break before November 1st, which leads us to the international, or yeah, before November, yeah, maybe. So we have Sunderland, Liverpool away, Brighton at home, Nottingham Forest away, and then Tottenham away, November 8th. So how many points do you guys think? Put in the comment section. How many points do you guys think Manchester United will get from these games? Now, over to what Adam had to say. So he said, we're still very much in contention for this European spot, and I'm hoping he can grab some good results in the next few games and build some momentum. I'm also not stupid to know full well that if we lose the next few, he will leave or be sacked, which is a fact. Definitely, if he loses the next couple of games, he'll probably even resign or be sacked. And I hear that he wants to resign before he's sacked, but it is what it is. He's probably got 3 to 5 games to save his job, and I really, really hope he pulls it off. In the end, it will come down to the players. Do they back him and fight for him, or do they down tools, give up and get a new manager in? We will find out shortly. Now, sacking him now, for me, makes no sense. Sure, speak to some potential replacements in the background, but give Rúben 5 games to prove that he can get the tune out of this group. There's inside rumors that he's also planning that there's a belief that he can get a tune out of this group. The fact that you brought him mid-season, didn't sign him an experienced goalkeeper, striker, or central midfielder, as the board owe it to him to give him more time. And he says, peace out. So that is what Adam had to say, and to some extent I kind of agree with his points and stuff. Now let us talk about what Amorim era. His name is Frank. I follow him on X, and I saw what he posted, and it makes a lot of sense, and we'll use that to wrap up the stream. During preseason, a Sporting Lisbon fan reached out to me with confidence that Rúben Amorim would turn it around at Manchester United, highlighting his ability to turn a squad into fighters and a family. That is what Amorim era said, and that makes sense, right? Because I think Solly Talks and Nathan Salt all said these things about Rúben Amorim before he joined, and he was the next best thing. In fact, Liverpool wanted him at some point, but it is what it is. He says, I reached out to him today, asking him whether he was surprised about Rúben Amorim's stubbornness at Man United so far, shown through his inability to show any adaptation to his ways of playing football. And this is what he said. He said, here is his response. Hey, Frank, I hope you are well. I am not shocked, even though I never thought it would be so hard for him to have the players doing the basics, but I knew it would be hard. Forget the stubbornness. That shouldn't be your concern. Amorim changes a lot in his teams. So many times last year, we had just two in the back, or one of the centre backs going forward and acting like wingers, or one of the centre backs going forward and acting like wingers. That is one of the things I noticed about. I think De Ligt did that a lot this season as well, even against Grimsby. He did it where he was bombing forward like a winger, but then it is what it is. Or one of the midfielders opening on a side to allow for one of the centre backs to go forward. He changes a lot, but only once he sees the team are very comfortable with the basic patterns. Which brings me back to the interview that Rúben Amorim had again with Owen Hargreaves, where he said that he wants the team to get to play the basics, play the right thing, play the system, understand the system, and then eventually they will adapt, and then we can be able to change. He says we can change. Moving on, he said the problem though is not this. I've said this after Grimsby. This is he says he changes a lot, but only once that he sees that the team are very comfortable with the basic patterns. He says, the problem though is not this. I said this after Grimsby. He gave up. He sees a team that can only be aggressive in big matches as Arsenal or Chelsea, and I know him well, and he said everything after the match. So he said the players have told me, they've spoken really loudly, right? This is what Amorim said, that the players have spoken really loudly. Let me just take a drink. That's what Rúben Amorim said. Players have spoken really loudly, so which meant that he gave up, right? But why should he give up? Now he says, he said it after the match, he feels he is not capable to make the team understand that they have to give everything in every single match, every little detail, so he gave up. He says, I am absolutely confident that if you guys sack him, he will have a lot of success elsewhere. He has a winner profile and knows a lot about football. Right, this is what the sporting fans said. Knows a lot about football. The only mistakes we've made, him and fans that know him well, as I do, was to believe that he could make a team out of any group of players. He can't, and I really can't see who can make a team out of these United players. I don't know United that well to be able to point the reason why this weak mentality is also prevalent there. So talking about the weak mentality in the squad and all of that. He says, I've been following Sporting every day for the last 27 years. It's not the same with United, but I can tell it runs deep in the club. Too many years of bad football heritage. Also, you guys have a fan base. I had to bend my head down because of that. You guys have a fan base that is still not ready to accept being a mid-table team for a couple of years, but that's what you guys are now. We're a mid-table team, at least since last year. Oh, it's so crazy. Come on. We even finished 8th under Ten Hag at some point, lowest, and then Ten Hag was sacked the next season, and then we finished 15th. And right now we're 14th, albeit 5 away from the top 4. It is what it is. Now he says little details, literally 2 penalties would have put you guys in 7th place now with Man City, but the fan base is not ready to have that little details to go wrong for long. If Bruno had scored his penalty against Fulham, it would have been 2-1, and that would be with extra 3 points. If Bruno had scored his penalty against Brentford, it probably would have ended 2-2. because we would have come back. But he missed, and then we considered 3-1. So it is what it is. Man United is huge, but history doesn't win games, and the size of the fan base doesn't win titles. I don't think at all that he is setting you guys up to lose. I hate Diallo. That's a strong word to use. I hate Diallo. Well, okay, it is what it is. And even I think he should be able to know how to do the basics, which is speaking of Diallo. But just as I know, I love Bruno, and I think he should be able to manage his emotions during the match. There are just too many little things to change with no time to change them. Yeah, sadly, Amorim thought he had time with no European football, no distractions, nothing whatsoever. And then lo and behold, no time to change. Most Man United fans don't like the fact that we want to keep Rúben Amorim, or meaning some people are backing Rúben Amorim and stuff. But in truth, as the board and the ownership backed Amorim, that's the question. No, they haven't. So it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. We're going to continue this conversation basically, and any news I see, I'll bring it to you, either in video form or in a live stream. I'll bring it to you, explaining to you what we observe and all of that. Manchester United are in doldrums right now, but I know that a couple of wins will change everything. A couple of wins at the club. We just need to win a couple of games and everything changes. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I mean, let's continue to build this conversation. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as relates to Manchester United. We'll continue to build momentum. We'll continue to have conversations. We'll continue to, kind of support each other however possible, kind of look forward to what to expect with regards to Manchester United and everything in between. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.